Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. This is Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology, and we're excited because today on our episode we're going to be welcoming not one but two brand new ladies to the show today for the very first time. And before they come on here, I'd like to invite everyone out there, if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. Now these two ladies are going to be joining us here momentarily on GoTarryn TV for the very first time, as I mentioned, and they're coming from a company known as Nikken, and they're going to be sharing some of their experiences with the product and highlighting some of the great benefits that Nikken offers and provides. So you're going to definitely learn a lot, as will I, for the next half hour, because I'm bringing on Sherri, Danzig, and Freddah Bahl right here on for the very first time to kind of interview them, ask them questions, pick their brain, and learn more about Nikken and again, why it not only benefits you and I, but everyone out there. And it's a great company, and they have a lot of terrific products that are available, and they're going to tell us about a few of them here today. So I'm excited, and I can't wait again to speak to both Freddah and Sherri right here in just a few moments. And remember, with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Actually, before Freddah comes on, we can kind of get caught up here. So since this is the first time, we're doing this podcast together, I'll go ahead and just ask you, just to start out with, maybe to tell just a little bit about yourself, about, choosing vibrancy, about, how you got into Nikken and what you've been doing in Atlanta. I could just, I guess, let you have the floor and just start there.
Okay, sounds great.
Sure.
Yeah. I have been in Atlanta. You might as well call me a native because I've been here for over 40 years, 42 years to be exact.
Oh, okay, great.
I've lived within 8 hours of a range of 8 hours my whole life, which when I thought of that, I thought, well, that's not very adventurous. I guess I'm a Southern girl through and through, and then like to travel.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Would you say that from your whole entire career or even upbringing in life, were you always pretty much, integrated in some way with health and wellness, or how did you get, develop that passion?
Yeah, I can't say my entire life, but much of it. I have been an educator. I think that is true because that was my first career. So I graduated from, college and was a special ed teacher and did that for a number of years, and then really got burned out, to be honest. I wasn't feeling like I could make an impact the way I wanted to. When I was in college, though, a friend of mine's husband was in massage school. And so I got interested in that. I had my brother, who's got mad carpenter skills, build me a massage table. Clunky.
Oh, wow.
Not anything you could, be portable. But I had my first table. I bought a book and I taught myself massage. So that was
neat.
in the background of myself, and loved that. And then I had been, like I said, kind of burned out of teaching, and I had moved into another career in the food business, which I loved, but it was a pretty high stress job, the second career I had with that. And so a friend, out of the blue, introduced me. It was kind of the meant to be thing, woo woo, and said, come to this orientation class at the Atlanta School of Massage and just check it out. And I went there and I immediately felt like I was home. So that was cool. 33 years ago or 34 years ago. And so this spring, it'll be 34 years. Neat. So I fell in love and I decided to become a massage therapist. So that was my entry point professionally into wellness.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if we could, I got to ask you this because I'm very curious. You don't have to tell me, but if you don't mind sharing, because I have a food management background myself. I have restaurant management to be specifically. Yep. And so I did Waffle House and Golden Corral. And I can say for sure, I definitely agree that as far as demanding, challenging, stressful, all of the above, 10 million times. Yeah. And so I didn't know you did that. That's so interesting.
Yeah. My family had a couple of restaurants. I say I grew up in the restaurant business. So I come by it honestly. I have been a caterer. I do some of that now, having a retreat coming up, and I am the
Oh,
chef for
neat.
the whole event. I love
Oh,
it. Absolutely
wow.
love it.
That is cool. That
It's
is really
one of
neat.
my gifts of my, what is it, love language, is
Mm-hmm.
cooking
Mm-hmm.
for people. So, um,
Huh.
so I was trained in it, having my elbows deep in a bowl of potato salad does not scare me, right? So when it was like, what am I going to turn to when I wasn't going to be a teacher, which is what I went to school for.
Okay.
So I found this job that was so wonderful. Anyhow, so I worked as a food broker, which was fun because I got to go in and prepare food and kind of push the different food products into the distributor. That was a great job. But then I got recruited to a very high pressure job, which was working with a distribution company. So then you're running all over town to give people, they ran out of ketchup, you got to run. So it was that kind of a thing. So it was the big food trucks that I was delivering. And that was the thing that kind of took me out, which I think, in the big scheme of things, I feel like I've been on the right path. Everything has led me to where I am today.
That's great. Yeah.
It's kind of fun when you can kind of see the breadcrumbs that led you to why you're doing what you're doing now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, it's so funny I didn't know that, but right when you told me about the transition from food business, I can relate to that because I spent several years doing that myself. And what's funny about that, Sherri, I'm sure you could probably appreciate this as well, is that what I saw was the horrible bad eating habits of people at, like I mentioned, Waffle House, Golden Corral, that I felt like I was doing a disservice to people and not helping people and not providing them healthy, because let's face it, when you see people go to those restaurants, what do they go for, right? So that kind of motivated me in terms of saying I need to do a better job of kind of practicing what I preach and helping people. But I see that, and that sets us up perfectly here. I want to say hello to Freddah. Freddah, hi, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm excited about being on a podcast.
Oh, thanks. Well, we love having you, and I apologize for the background noise. I hope you can't hear the sirens that just went by. But I hope, again, I wanted to really appreciate and thank you, ladies, for being on here. It was perfect timing because Sherri was kind of giving me a backstory and background kind of how, what she did before getting involved and kind of leading up to that process. But maybe I'll ask you the same question, Freddah, because I think it'd be interesting just to hear from, your viewpoint. And we go back to Sherri, and I'm sure she'll tell us as well. But how did, I guess, take us back and kind of you and Sherri's friendship and professional working relationship began?
Well, we know each other because of my naturopath doctor who introduced me to Sherri.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now drinking the water that is helping me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And let's talk about that water. And Sherri, I'll go back to you because I guess that leads us to here where we're at now, and Nikan and everything that you're doing with Choosing Vibrancy. So I guess, how did you get involved, and what was your origins kind of hooking up there with Nikan?
Absolutely. Well, let me go back for a moment and tell you, because my first career was, as I said, being a teacher. The teacher in me never left me no matter what I was doing. So in the food business, I was a teacher. When I became a massage therapist, like you had this epiphany that you got to do something more when you're feeding people in like some of the lower comfort foods, but not the healthiest, right? Lifestyle. Right. And so for me, as I was treating and seeing, lots of clients, I realized, and this is actually my own experience, I realized that as wonderful as massage is, it's not necessarily something that lasts. You go back into your stressful, bad postural, whatever, not sleeping well, exposure to bad food and chemicals and blah, 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 all that stuff. And so if we're not doing things every day, you can go get this wonderful massage or get a chiropractic adjustment or acupuncture, all the things that we go to someone for treatment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of all of them, right? But what I saw for myself is that a couple of days after I had received a massage, I was back to hurting again. And that was
Mm,
the
mm,
truth. I asked my clients, I'd come in and I'd do this great massage and they'd get great relief. And then they'd come in the next time and I would ask them, or I'd check in with them during the week. And I was getting kind of the same report. So it was a little
mhm,
disappointing. I had
mm,
to frame
mm,
it differently because I wanted to be able to really have a bigger impact
mhm,
in how
mhm,
people took care of their health and how I took care of my health. So it was kind of
mhm,
that mindset of the teacher in me of how can I teach my clients? How can I teach myself? And
mhm,
about that same time, well, the other thing that was going on is I had developed a really bad back, and that is a
mm,
really
mm.
bad combination to be doing the physical work of a massage with a back
Oh,
that is, I was in pain a lot. And
mm,
so I
mm,
was looking for something for my own self. And I was struggling with, wanting to have a bigger impact with longer results, longer lasting results. So I was kind of in that perfect open, place when
mhm,
this company Niken came into my awareness, into my life. A friend introduced me to it. He didn't know I was having a back issue. He
hmm,
knew I was a massage therapist, and he knew another massage therapist that was having some great success with the products. So he
hmm.
wanted me to connect with somebody else. And he did. He put me on the phone. This was way before Zoom and even the internet. I didn't even have a computer back then. This is 25 years ago almost.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Mhm,
he introduced me to this massage therapist, and I heard what her stories were. And that's what got me my interest peaked, because this was a company that acted like massage therapist because
mhm,
they were
mhm.
focused on energy. It was an energy medicine company, and massage is all about moving energy in the body, right? Helping circulation, helping to create the best environment so the body can do its own healing. That's what massage
Sure.
therapist does, right?
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And
Certainly.
so, hearing that there were products that you could sleep on, sit on, put in your shoes, wear around your neck, all these things that you could do that would be every day with you,
Mhm.
so that you weren't doing the peak and valley all the time of your health is up, your health is down, your health is up, and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's what got my attention. It appealed to me. Now, the first thing, it had to work. If the products hadn't helped me, I never would have talked about it to my clients.
Mm,
I
mhm.
didn't want to be bringing something in that I thought, well, maybe this works. But it
Yeah.
had such a profound impact on my health and my back. Within a week, I had noticed I had so much more mobility in my back. I wasn't
Mm,
hurting
mm.
all the time. I wasn't popping my neck all the time.
Oh, wow.
It made a huge difference for me really quickly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh, that's terrific. And so since then, Sherri, have you had to go to see anything about your back or have it checked out, or has
Well,
it not?
sure. I mean, these products are not, they're supporting your body. So it's
Mm-hmm.
still, once you have a weak area, I learned this in
Mm-hmm.
massage school and I thought it was so fascinating, is that there's this concept, I don't know, it's not a concept, it's a theory or whatever, about a
Yeah.
facilitated pathway, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you have an injury in your body, and then you have down the road, you could have some stress or you get sick, maybe you get the flu or something, the
Mm-hmm.
that pathway from the nervous system has been marked out. So it's like if
Okay.
you walk through a field, there's a field of high grass, but there's one path that
Mm-hmm.
everybody's walked on that. That's where you're going to walk when you go through that path. And that's how our
Mm.
nervous system works, right? So it's going to
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
that old injury. So for
Sure.
me, I injured my back in some way when I was pregnant with twins. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's still, it's a more vulnerable area. But the difference is today is that I couldn't get up off the floor without hurting. I couldn't get down or
Mm.
off the floor. The
Mm.
idea of playing tennis and running around the court like tennis requires you to do, was
Yeah.
it was just off the table for me.
Mm.
And I was in
Mm.
my late 30s. Now I'm in my mid 60s and I play tennis regularly.
That's great.
But I use these products. I always have a magnet on my back.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep
Mm-hmm.
on these technologies, which allows me to recover every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wearing this necklace around my neck because I used to always be popping my shoulders. My upper back used to be tense.
Yeah.
So I still see a massage therapist. I still love massage. I get an adjustment like every other week. I love acupuncture. I love all these things. They're wonderful enhancements. But the difference is now I'm not going to these people to fix me.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of keeping a more of a continuum.
Sure.
Right? Or if I'm in a car accident, I've been knocked around a few times in Atlanta traffic. And so something could happen that causes me to have more of a, I'm off my game. Then I'll go see somebody more often.
Yeah.
But mostly now I'm using it as maintenance. Because
right.
every day I'm surrounded with these technologies that are supporting me so I don't get too stressed out. My body doesn't get too out of balance. Yeah, that's the difference.
That's terrific. And Freddah, I want to turn to you as a, you're fairly new to Nikken and the water. So what's your kind of, take on it from your perspective? Kind of just share maybe your thoughts since acquiring the water and drinking it and everything you've learned about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about what I'm feeling different in my body right now from drinking really light and delicious water that with all the minerals in there. And I'm like Sherri in that most of my life has been for probably 40 years now, taking all the different natural paths to be healthier. I've been under chiropractic care as well. Actually, since I'm a kid, my dad was back, the whole family went. Then I've also been to Chinese doctors. And I'm very interested in all natural ways to take care of myself. And now I'm really excited because today I should be receiving the insoles, the magnets, and I can't wait to experience the improvements, the changes that will happen in my body with that particular product. So I'm going through some health challenges. And as Sherri admitted her age, I'm 71. So, I'm just going to keep on doing things that any new natural way to do something I could find out. And so I'm excited about the magnets as well. And I know there are a lot of other products. So one by one, I'm going to go through and see what I need to support where I'm at now in my life.
That's terrific, Freddah. And, as far as you mentioning the insole with the magnets, I'm going to bring it back and ask Sherri kind of maybe to elaborate a little bit more in further detail, because Sherri, you touched on the magnets in general briefly, but maybe can you specifically go in a little further, I guess, say for these magnetic insoles that Freddah is going to get, kind of what is the concept and, the theory or technology, I guess, that's embedded in it that will help with, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. They're amazing products. The company has been around, Nikken has been around for 47 years, and they started in Japan with one product, and that was the magnetic insoles. Okay. So for the first 4 years, that was all they had. And so people got creative in Japan, where if they hurt, but it was not their feet, they would take the insole out of their shoe and they'd stick it on their hip or their elbow or their back or their knee. So, the products are very adaptable. And the reason they work is because we are magnetic beings. Every bit, all of the energy connections, our electromagnetic field, the way our cells communicate with each other, the way our brain connects with our cells, it's all magnetic. An MRI is a image of the magnetic resonance in our body.
Right.
So it can see, it's not looking at bones, right? It's looking at the energy in the muscles and so forth. So it's no different than the fact we all know with all of our devices, right? With our cell phone, that you watch that battery symbol, and when the battery gets low, what do? You have to plug it in and recharge it. So we have a battery cell. We have cells that are like the battery cell of our phone, and we need to be recharged. And we're so bombarded with things that drain our battery, drain our energy. Now, the way we were designed was to be recharged by the earth, because the earth is a giant magnet with a north and south pole. But we don't spend, you're sitting in your car, you're outside, but you're not at all connected to the magnetic field of the earth, because you're surrounded with this steel body. So when we're in our cars, we're outside, but we're not connected to it. Most of the time when we're outside, we're walking on cement. Even if we're walking through the woods, the rubber in our shoes isn't as much of a connection. So, the Native Americans had it right. They were walking with, a moccasin, a natural skin, to be more connected to the earth. So, we live our lives mostly indoors, and we live our lives, around electrical currents. And now, in the last 20 plus years now with Wi-Fi, which is just more and more getting more sophisticated. And none of us want to do without all of these wonderful conveniences. We're not going backwards. But the more we add all of these unnatural currents around us, it's naive to think they're not having an effect.
Yeah.
So the magnetic insoles specifically are designed to go in your shoes to recharge your body the way we were made to recharge through the feet and the energy from the earth. It's really, it's very simple. And there's, it may sound odd for someone that's listening that has heard something about magnets and they may be skeptical. And I understand, I was as well. And to say that there are some really powerful studies that have been done to show they don't know the exact mechanism of how magnets are working. They imagine it has something to do with changing the blood, because there was a research in Temple University, and they showed that using magnets, wearing them every day, is a natural blood thinner. So it's changing the blood. People are on medicine for blood thinning. That's a serious concern, right? There was a study that was done with a neurologist who his patients are people with diabetic neuropathy. So their feet are numb, but then they have this incredibly intense, like burning sensation. It's very, very painful. And so they did a study. It was a double-blind, placebo-controlled study. And they showed that those that were using the real magnets had a very significant reduction in pain. They could feel their feet were functioning again. And it's because what the magnets do is they help to restore the body in the most natural way. So if you are recharged, then your cells can do what they're supposed to do. And when you have a condition like a neuropathy, you have diabetes affecting you, or some other kind of health condition, your body is not functioning optimally. So magnets, because every cell in our body is a magnet, wearing a magnet wherever you feel a weakness, where you're in discomfort, where you have had an injury, wearing that magnet there is helping the body to restore itself in the most natural way. Wow. And I liken it to massage. I think that I ask people when they'll say, can magnets help me with, this particular condition? First of all, we don't make any medical claims. We never say this is going to fix this or heal that. We never say that. But I do ask people this question. I say, if you've had a massage for this particular, ailment, and the massage made you feel better, it helped it, then magnets are likely to work as well, because they work very similarly in how massage does. So, I understand that as a massage therapist, that if you could wear something on your body that was like giving yourself a passive massage all the time, that sounds like a pretty good thing. And that's exactly why it works so well.
Yeah, no, that's great, Sherri. And Freddah, I see that you're very excited, and Freddah, with learning about this and kind of being involved, what's kind of your takeaway now, and just what are you excited about in terms of learning more with some of the Nikon products that you're going to be acquiring?
Well, one thing that getting the massage I did last week, I've been monitoring, because a couple of years ago I fell, my ankle and foot got twisted. And,
yes.
So it started to get not so good again, and I had a little pain going up the right front, the shin. And when I stretch, I've been going, all right, let's see how it is today. And today the pain was less. And about the background about the magnets, I'm like gonna tape it around my ankle.
Smart. Yeah.
Have more of a healing on there. So that data, that information, Sherri, that you just gave has, I can't wait to learn more, so I can know, because I only know about 2 of the products pretty much right now. The waterfall, and I'm drinking really great water, alkaline and mineralized, and then when I get the magnet, I would like I would like a bodysuit of magnets.
Yeah. You're not the first person that has said that. If I could just, do they make a whole bodysuit? Yes.
For the winter, I could wear it in a hat. I'll put it under the hat. And yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the first one, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sense.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said this off camera yesterday when we chatted for the first time when we first met. But I'll go ahead and say on the record that, when I drink the water, I really do feel more energized from that waterfall that Freddah had me try with Nikon. And I felt more refreshed. And later on in the day, I just felt like I had so much more energy. And it was really funny, because then, as I mentioned, also, it reminded me, like, I've had this before, and where have I had this? And I looked back and I was like, yes, of course. And so, that's why, from a personal testimonial, I can definitely validate that it certainly works. And the little bit of the magnet therapy that our friend, mutually, Peter Gibson, had shared with me some years back, I can definitely say as well too that there was some help with that when I first tried that some years back ago. And so again, I'm glad you've refreshed my memory, and it's good to share this, because I think you're right. A lot of people out there probably just are not aware of this. And even Freddah, where you live over there at the Zabin Tower, I would say that a lot of residents there could probably benefit, from learning more about this as well too.
I'm in total agreement with you about that. We're never, it doesn't matter what age we are, we can always do something new.
And it's never too late.
Right.
It's never too late to because our body is constantly rebuilding and replenishing and all of that. So, it's never too late to feel better.
Oh,
to
yeah.
have more energy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And just, as you mentioned earlier, Sherri, the whole concept of preventative maintenance, I think that's important. Just like we do anything else, we take care of our body, we take care of our car. Well, in taking care of our health, certainly I think that this is definitely a great affordable option to be able to do that. And so I wanted to ask you, Sherri, if you could tell us a little bit too about if people are interested with this, and let's say they're listening and like, okay, great, let me try it. I'd love to sample or what have you. What are some of the best ways, I guess, for them to kind of learn more about this and kind of, I guess, directly contact you and reach out and get informed better?
Well, I would direct everyone really to Freddah, and then I can support Freddah because I've been around these products for 25 years. Freddah's a few months, and the best way for her to learn, and she's so passionate about health and about continuing to help other people. I mean, that's really her driving force. And so, we work together as partnerships. So people can talk to Freddah, and then we can talk as a team together to answer any questions. So if they want to go to Freddah's site so that they can learn more, there's a lot of information on the website. So Freddah, what is your website?
Wait, I gotta look it up, but I now have a book that is strictly Nikken, because all the notes I'm taking and everything are in here so that I can have it at my fingertips. Because right now I'm challenged with a couple of health situations, and that's why this has come at the right time for me. And so my website is my first name, Freddah, FREDDAH.mynikken.com. Again, that's Freddah, FREDDAH.mynikken, and Nikken is spelled NIKKEN.com.
Perfect. Good.
Absolutely.
We'll put that.
If you can put that in print so people can click on it, then they can go there. They can click on her site. They can go to the products and have a look around. And then I'll give you my phone number, because if somebody wants to call and ask a quick question, they can do that. Sure. Because Fred and I are working together. So my phone number is 404-431-1682.
Good.
So that's
okay.
my cell. They
Perfect.
can text me if they want to set up a time to talk. That's what I do. I talk to people all day long, answer questions about the products. We do demonstrations. We do, presentations. Really, I'm being that educator that I started out being so many years ago, because there's really nothing more important than being educated on how to take care of our health. I think all three of us can certainly agree.
Oh, 100%. Totally agree with you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's great if you've got a successful business, but then if your health goes down the drain, it doesn't really matter anymore, so and prevention is where it's at. I think it's for a lot of people. A lot of people have struggled, of course, during the pandemic. My business has flourished, and I don't take pride in the fact that people are, it's been a terrible time, but the thing that I do appreciate is that these last few years, people are starting to live the idea of what happens when you don't take care of yourself. So I think this has really, brought home the importance of creating the most healthy environment. And Nikken, I'll leave you with this. Nikken's big focus is about changing homes to be what they call a wellness home, which is creating an environment where when we come home, we are nourished by by Mother Nature. Really, it's the energy from the earth, which is magnetic. It's the energy from the sun. That's the waves that it's called infrared, and it's a way to harness healthy heat. And then, of course, the water that we've been talking about, both that you drink, that you shower in. It's air filtration, about breathing in clean, purified, energized air. And then it's about daytime energy. So that's the magnetic insoles and some of the other products that we've talked about. And then lastly, it's also about nutrition. And you started out talking about people eating healthy. And sleep. Sorry, I left out sleep. And really and truly, water is the most important nutrient we'll ever put in our body. So water is a great place to start. It's probably has the biggest bang for your buck. It's got the biggest impact on your health for the least amount of money. But really the foundation that we focus on with Nikken is in the wellness home is creating the best sleep environment. So you're cocooned in an environment that allows you to sleep a lot deeper than maybe you are right now.
Oh, wow. That's great. We'll definitely have to do a follow-up podcast on that alone. I believe we could probably do a whole 30 minutes on the whole sleep management and improvement. That's an important one for sure. I would love to do that with y'all. And in fact, I know that we're coming up at the end here. This 30 minutes flew by so quickly, ladies. I really appreciate your time. And let's definitely do this again, please. I think, again, a follow-up on sleep health and better sleep would be a really excellent topic next month for us to explore. So again, I want to thank both of you. And as we're closing here, I hope you both have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining. And also one more thing before we fade to black, I'm going to go ahead and put y'all's contact information on the screen one more time here. And again, we will see you soon. Sherri, Freddah, it was a pleasure, ladies.
Thanks, Taryn. It was.
Thank you.
Take care.